RHOA fans slam production and Bravo for unfair treatment of Kenya Moore. The moment we've all been waiting for finally played out in episode 5 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and now fans are in uproar. Kenya Moore and newbie Britt Eadie's feud came to a head after a few weeks of tension between them. Last week, things took a turn when Britt made mention of having a pistol after an argument with Kenya. The 54-year-old retaliated at her event and shared explicit photos of Britt. After the episode, a disclaimer stated that they had decided to discontinue filming with Kenya for the rest of the season. Meanwhile, viewers are calling out the network and the producers for giving Britt a pass with her threats about having a pistol and choosing to punish Kenya. Fans blast Bravo and RHOA producers for treating Kenya Moore unfairly. Social media is ablaze with comments about the moment that cost Kenya her job. While many agree that Kenya took things too far, they also think Britt should have been removed from the show the moment she made threats about having pistols. "I hate how Kenya retaliated, but the way Bravo handled this, to me, was unfair. Two people should have lost their peach," wrote a commenter. "Reason why I'm still on Kenya's side is because, had production handled the gun threats accordingly, the retaliation could have been prevented," said someone else. "She did not deserve to be fired, especially if Britt was allowed to continue filming after threatening her life." #RHOA, reasoned someone else. One viewer exclaimed, "So let me make sure I have this correct. We fire Kenya for showing explicit pics of Britt, fine. But we don't fire Britt for making threats involving a gun toward Kenya. We care abt naked pics. We do not see Ari abt gun threats at Bravo, at Andy. So let me make sure I have this correct. We fire Kenya for showing explicit pics of Britt, fine. But we don't fire Britt for making threats involving a gun toward Kenya." Another viewer said, "Both Britt and Kenya were wrong, but Britt started it. Production should have reprimanded both of them. The end. The shade is real, and apparently so is the bias." One outraged fan tweeted after the latest drama surrounding Real Housewives of Atlanta OG Kenya Moore. After over a decade of serving up iconic reads, meme-worthy moments, and deeply personal storylines, the fan favorite peach holder is now at the center of a storm. But this time, it's not one of her own making. Following recent episodes of RHOA, and more bombshell revelations behind the scenes, fans are rallying behind Kenya and accusing Bravo and production of playing a not-so-subtle game of favoritism, manipulation, and flat-out sabotage. Has Kenya become the scapegoat of the ATL franchise? That's exactly what her army of supporters believe, and they're making noise about it. They set her up. The latest flashpoint in the controversy came after a reportedly heated confrontation between Kenya and one of her castmates was edited to make her look like the aggressor, even though unedited footage, leaked by a rogue insider account on social media, suggested the opposite. "It's not just shady editing anymore," wrote one Reddit user. "They're crafting a narrative at Kenya's expense." The controversy deepened when footage emerged showing a producer allegedly instructing another housewife to bring up a painful chapter from Kenya's past, something she had explicitly asked not to be aired. "That's not reality, that's exploitation," a fan posted under Bravo's latest Instagram reel. "You protect others but not Kenya? That's disgusting. Where's the protection?" Longtime viewers were quick to point out a glaring double standard. When certain other housewives go through things, legal issues, relationship drama, emotional breakdowns, the cameras respectfully cut away. One fan vented on X, formerly Twitter. But when it's Kenya, they zoom in, add dramatic music, and exploit the hell out of it. Kenya Moore, the former Miss USA who joined RHOA in Season 5, has never shied away from being vulnerable on camera. From her fertility journey to her tumultuous relationship with ex-husband Mark Daly, Kenya has bared her soul more than most. But now fans are saying enough is enough, especially after a recent episode aired a deeply emotional moment with no warning, no context, and what many believe was intentional humiliation. Bravo will literally cut scenes to protect other housewives' images, another fan raged. But Kenya cries on screen after being provoked for hours and y'all throw in a slow-mo shot and eerie music. What kind of mess is this? A double standard in action. The frustration isn't just about editing, it's about treatment, tone, and support. Let's talk about how other women are allowed to defend themselves, but when Kenya claps back, she's aggressive, problematic, and toxic, an Instagram user wrote in the comments of Andy Cohen's latest post. The bias is so blatant, it's embarrassing. Fans are drawing comparisons between Kenya and castmates who have physically lashed out or made inflammatory comments, yet walked away unscathed or even praised. If Kenya had flipped a table, y'all would have sent her to Bravo jail. But when someone else does it, it's called iconic television. Make it make sense. And let's not forget the reunion seating chart scandal. Kenya, arguably one of the most central figures this season, was pushed to the far end of the couch. We all know reunion seating reflects relevance. One fan posted on TikTok, putting Kenya at the edge was deliberate disrespect. Even the cast is speaking up. Interestingly, even a few former castmates are chiming in, hinting that the fans aren't entirely wrong. Cynthia Bailey, Kenya's longtime friend and once her RHOA co-star, posted a cryptic message to her Instagram stories. Loyalty isn't always mutual. Stay woke. While she didn't name names, the timing spoke volumes. Portia Williams, who has had a roller coaster relationship with Kenya, also liked a tweet calling out the production team for overproducing this season and throwing the wrong people under the bus. Even Kandi Burruss, who announced her departure from the show earlier this year, recently revealed in an interview that the editing on RHOA hasn't always been fair, and admitted there were times when she didn't recognize her own storyline. They choose who they want to uplift and who they want to tear down, she said. Unfortunately, Kenya has gotten the short end of the stick a lot more than people realize. Fans demand justice and change. The outrage has gone beyond social media rants. Petitions are circulating demanding Bravo issue an apology to Kenya Moore and commit to more balanced production practices. We're not asking for favoritism, one petition reads. We're asking for fairness, for truth, for reality in reality TV. And some fans are going even further, calling for a boycott. If they don't treat Kenya with respect, they don't get my viewership, one user wrote on an RHOA fan forum. Simple as that. What's next for Kenya? Kenya herself hasn't remained silent, though she's handled the backlash with grace. In a now viral tweet, she wrote, "I've always shown up, no matter the storm. But even a strong woman gets tired of fighting battles she didn't start." She ended with a peach emoji and the word love, suggesting that while she may be hurting, she hasn't lost her spirit. But the question on everyone's lips is, will she return? Rumors are swirling that Kenya is seriously considering walking away from RHOA, and honestly, who could blame her? Between the lack of production support and the emotional toll of being the franchise's perennial villain, the idea of Kenya taking her talents elsewhere isn't far-fetched. Some fans are even encouraging her to jump networks entirely. Kenya Moore on Love and Marriage, Atlanta, or even her own spin-off. Take my money, one TikTok user gushed. The legacy of a queen. Whatever Kenya decides, one thing is clear. Her legacy is already cemented. She's given the show some of its most iconic moments, most quotable lines, and most authentic heart. She's weathered the storm season after season, and she's still standing tall, crown slightly tilted, but never broken. As one fan so perfectly put it, Kenya Moore is RHOA. Without her, y'all are just sipping lukewarm tea. Now all eyes are on Bravo to see if they'll do what's right, or if the Real Housewives of Atlanta will continue to lose not just its queen, but its core.